Good Thursday afternoon, everybody. We're just getting really around to stirring this morning. Stayed up too late last night after the auction. But we do have our last auction of the week tonight coming up. We want to encourage everybody to tune in. It's going to be a blast. Last night, out of all three auctions that we had, last night was just extraordinary auction. Not that we made a lot of money. It did okay, but we just had a lot of fun. And that's one thing we do at Uncle Jed's live auction shed here on YouTube. We have a lot of fun. Try to put a smile on your face. Maybe sometimes at our expense. But we want to encourage everybody to tune in tonight. Thought we'd come on here a little bit and talk to you. Just see how many people we're sort of gauging a few little things. See how many people's on at noon. I know at midnight sometimes when we're on the road going to get a storage unit or something, and a lot of people on at midnight. You wouldn't believe the people that's on YouTube at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes when we're on the road. So I thought I'd come here at noon today and see how many people that's watching. So if you're watching, say hi to us over in the comment section. We'll say hi back, maybe. Just depends on who you are. No, we'll say hi back anyway. But I hope everybody had a good night. Looking forward to a big weekend this weekend. There's Miss Terry up there in Illinois. Hope everything's going good up there today for you. But we were wore out last night, and this morning, I think I got up like at 6 o'clock, and I was just totally zapped and wore out. When you're doing online auctions, a lot of people don't realize you're standing there talking for 3 to 4 hours constantly, trying to come up with the next item you're going to sell. What's it going to be? And you're trying to get a read on the crowd on what they're interested in and what they're buying, so you're constantly your head spinning. And of course, the twist last night. That's what it was. That's why I woke up feeling pretty rough this morning. When you do the twist the way I do, I guess, you get sore all over your whole body. So we've got a good auction coming up tonight. We're going to be getting things set up and ready. And then now next week, our auctions will go back to our regular time, Tuesday and Thursday night. I was trying to relive some of our storage unit stories. Some of you have not heard some of the stories, so we thought we'd come on here today and talk a little bit about some of our storage finds, some of the great finds, and then some of the not so great finds. Because there has been some to where it wasn't such great finds. Back a few years ago, we bought a unit in Clarksville, Tennessee. In which Clarksville, Tennessee, there's no way to jump on the interstate and get there from here. So it's a pretty good ride over to Clarksville, Tennessee. Probably an hour, 15 minutes, hour, 20 minutes from home, which is not really that far compared to where we usually go. But we bought this unit because we could see boxes in there. One of them had a nice exercise thing still in the box. Some other stuff still in the box. A lot of good boxes. So we traveled over there, and I made a joke on the way over there. I said, wouldn't it be funny if all those boxes were just empty in there after giving $800 for the unit? And we got over there, and sure enough, every one of those boxes were empty. I bought a unit full of empty boxes, and it was staged, I'm sure. But the thing about it is, when you buy a unit, you've got to clean it completely out. I don't care if it's turns out to be a bad one. You got to clean it out, or you get what they call blackballed or blacklisted, to where you can't buy no more units through this particular company. So I didn't want to do that, so we cleaned out the unit, put all those empty boxes on, and headed back to Scottsville. So time you count our expenses going over there, labor and all that, that was just like taking $1,200 and setting it on fire and just watching it burn up. Plus, your time and that type stuff. But let me tell you this. The very next units we bought were in Chattanooga, Tennessee. which is a good ways away from us, talking 4 or 5 hours. And it wasn't just one unit. There was 3 units that were selling, and they were all indoor units, climate controlled units. So of course I wanted them. And the first 2 units, looked like they had a lot of good stuff in there. And then the third unit, there's all sister units, and a sister unit is when the same person abandons, not just 1 unit, but 2 units or 3 units. I'm live. What you need, honey?
I was going to ask you how much something was. It's okay.
Oh. You can ask away. What is it? I don't care.
That Halloween stuff.
Oh.
It's
Which
like
one?
A whole stack of like spiders. It's like little toys.
If you'll come back here in a little while, we're going to have a lot of that priced. We just got it and bringing it all in.
Okay.
So you're wanting eyeballs.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've got some eyeballs. We've got some fingers.
Okay.
So come back here in just a little bit. I'll be done with my blog in here in just a minute.
Okay.
But in Chattanooga, Tennessee, these were 3 sister units. And these 3 sister units, the third one just had a bunch of barrels in it. You've seen the cardboard barrels with the little silver band across the top. They're 50-gallon barrels, but they're cardboard. And there was a bunch of them. I thought, man, I don't really want that unit. I'm pretty sure it's a sister unit, but I don't really want it. So I got the first 2 units, and that one ended last. And I thought, well, shoot, I'm going to Chattanooga. I might as well get that unit too. So we bid, and we got that unit. So we go to... No, Sammy's not even showed up yet, Crow. But we went down to Chattanooga. There was 3 or 4 of us guys, and I can't remember. I think India went with us on the first trip. But we got down there, and we were pleased with the stuff in the units. And the barrels units, this lady was a hoarder. She would see something on sale like washing detergent or dish liquid or underarm deodorant, and she would buy a bunch of them. That's what was in these barrels, or brand new clothes. Okay. And a lot of nice stuff. So we loaded up the first 2 U-Hauls. That's how much stuff was in there. We loaded up the first 2 U-Hauls and headed back home, and then we had to send the guys back, okay, to get the rest of it. So me and India's in our warehouse building behind her house. While these guys are gone, we're waiting on them to get there to unload. And we're going through these boxes, and I'm thinking, some good stuff in these boxes. And we kept finding jewelry boxes, but nothing was in them, which is usually the case. And so I'm trying to get to these good boxes. It was crowded like usually when we unload a truck. And I had to move one of these barrels. And we went through a lot of the barrels. It was just new clothes in them or just stuff she had bought and poured it down in there. So I moved this one barrel, and I told India, I said, well, I'm going to look in this barrel. I said, I'm going to get over here to the good stuff. So we snapped that barrel lid off, and it's closed, new closed. So I sort of reached down there like you usually do, because sometimes you may find weapons or ammunition or different things hid down in clothes. And I felt a suitcase. And it wasn't a very big suitcase because it fit down in this barrel. And they had it fit down in there like that, a little black suitcase, about like this and about like that. And I pull it out, and it's real heavy. And I told India, something's in this. And then I go to unzip it, and they've got a little lock on the zipper. Okay? So I take 2 open-end wrenches, and I snap that lock. And I told us it's probably just paperwork, like usually, but I don't know why they got it locked up. So when I unzipped that, I could see gold jewelry in there. And we unzipped it completely, and that's why all the boxes were empty. She had put all that gold jewelry in this suitcase. And the first thing I do, I grab a loop, and I start looking. And it's all real. It's from 10 karat to 21 karat gold jewelry. And I go in the house and I get the scales because I want to see just what the scrap value is. And that was when gold was at about $1,100 an ounce. And we start weighing it up. And we're both crying because when you get such a good unit like that, especially after buying an empty unit in Clarksville, Tennessee, hun, whenever you're ready, you can holler at me. So we're crying. We start weighing that gold up. And it's beautiful jewelry. Some of it that Hawaiian jewelry. Matter of fact, several of you customers bought a lot of that jewelry. But it weighed out $17,000. Just scrap value alone. And then the next day we found a shirt sleeve, or rolled up in a dress sleeve, another 13,000 in gold jewelry. So that's 30,000. That's when gold was at 1,100. Right now that would probably equate to about 45,000. That was one of our big finds. That night, I guess the neighbors thought we was drinking because we was screaming, we was hollering. You don't have to worry about no tax on them, honey. Don't worry about it today. All right, thank you. Come back and see us. So the neighbors probably thought we were drinking because we was going, yeah, just like we'd won a brand new car on The Price is Right. And that was one of our biggest finds ever, and it was beautiful jewelry. And when we find something like that, we didn't sell it for scrap. Hey, Hidden, how's it going? We didn't sell it for scrap. We sold it to you guys. Most of that went to you guys. You got some great, beautiful jewelry that was worth more than the scrap gold value. A lot of it at scrap gold value. So when we find like rings and things like that, that's why a lot of people likes buying our jewelry, because, hey, Hidden, see you later there, buddy. I'm going to get off here in just a minute. Just wanted to say hi and talk a little bit about it. I'll get that network installed, buddy. But see you later, hon. But that was a great unit, especially after buying the, there's ups and downs. And you get those type units about once in 6 or 7 years. And what a lot of people make a mistake of doing, they make a big mistake. They'll find a unit like that, and then they'll overpay the next 10, 15 units they buy because they're hoping to find another hit like that. And when we first got into the business, we learned real quick you couldn't do that. But that's what they'll do. They'll overpay, and they'll waste their just like a gambler. You know, they'll win big, and then they'll just keep gambling until they're not a hit anymore. So we didn't do that. We had done learned our lesson several years back, and we did hit another good unit about a couple years later, the Atlanta, Georgia unit. That had Civil War letters in it.
What did y'all do with the shoes that you had up there?
They're in 2 boxes there, hon. We took them off the shelf because we had to move them. Are those the new ones, or
I don't know.
that came out of the?
No, I got them way over there on the first aisle.
They
in a
came.
box.
Okay. They for you young.
Yeah.
You can have them.
Sure.
Yeah.
How much are these? It's just
Where'd you get them at?
out of the tote.
Out of the tote, the
Yeah.
big brown tote?
Yeah, it's a blue tote.
Oh, no, that's my daughter.
No, it's a red one. I'm still over there.
Let's see which one it is. She picked out a bunch of stuff.
Well, that blue box is.
I'm sorry, guys. Pardon me. We left our door open. I just left it open, letting people come in and pick through stuff. I ain't got it straightened up in here. It's a mess. I mean, you can see the mess. Like, oh, Santa Claus scared me. I looked over there. Oh, Lord. But you see the mess I've got where I unloaded the storage unit in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. But a lot of people make that mistake. They'll get a really good unit, and then they overpay. And that's why a lot of the storage units right now, people are overpaying for them. Because you're not going to find, most of the time you find common items, like this Murfreesboro unit. Most of the stuff in it was common items. We'll make a little money on it. And I'm satisfied with finding common items because that's what a lot of my people like. So if you're just now stumbling upon here at noon on our channel, We have live auctions, guys, and that number right here that I've just typed in there, you can text me your information. I'll pin it at the top. You can text me your information. Make sure I typed in the right number. You can text me your name, because a lot of people like Crow, that's not his real name, or Hidden Numerous, that's not his real name. Just say this is so-and-so on YouTube, and give me your real name, physical address, and email address. Of course, the email address is for paying through PayPal or Square. We don't usually send no emails out, telling you about auctions or anything like that. We text a lot. Like if we know that you're sick or you got a loved one that's sick, we try to text and say we're praying for you or something like that. So, hey Diva, how's it going? We've got I gotta get that out of my pocket. It's gold, Diva, it's gold. Did you look at that big ring right there? Diamonds on it. I think it was a sorority ring. It weighs right at 16 grams of 10 karat gold. The diamonds are good on it. That's going to be tonight, Diva. And then the guy brought me one earring. It weighs about 3 grams. That's 14 karat gold. He said he might bring back some more in a little bit. And that's not nothing I found in the unit. If somebody brings in some stuff and they're wanting to sell it to us, we don't make a lot of money on it. And that's why they bring it to us, because pawn shops usually try to make double or even better than that, and we don't. If I can spend $100 and make $20 or $30 on that $100, I'm satisfied. Especially if you guys can get some nice jewelry. So I like it better when I find it in the units. That way you sort of make a lot of your profit back. And you don't find, you may find an earring or two. It's not like the Chattanooga unit. And Diva bought a lot of that gold jewelry and that silver jewelry that we found in the Chattanooga unit. Diva remembers me finding that down in the barrel. But most time you'll find an earring in a drawer. One little earring or maybe a little ring left behind. You never find a big treasure trove, very seldom like we did there. I mean, I know you'll see on TV where they find a box of silver dollars and stuff like that, and that's not very often. I have never found a big treasure trove of coins. Found quite a few coins and quite a bit of jewelry, but it's all, you have to go through, pockets, and it's not easy work. I have found jewelry in a shirt pocket. So if you ever do buy a storage unit, don't be thinking that you're going to get rich overnight. We've been doing this for years and years, and we're still not rich. We got food on the table, we got a roof over our head, but you got to remember, unless you got a place to turn all that stuff, a lot of people go out and buy storage units, and then they wind up calling me. They'll pick through it and sell all the good stuff, and then they got stuck with all this other stuff, and they say, "Hey, Jerry, you want to buy it?" I say, "No, I don't buy from people that buy storage units, my competition, because that's what happens. They pick through all the good stuff, and then they want you to sell all the common stuff, and just don't do it." And a lot of people, they eventually, they figure out, I got to have a route and a place to sell it. And of course, we've got the store, and then we've got the auctions to move stuff, and you still can't move it all. It's still, sometimes you just have to discard it or give it away. A little guy does Facebook auctions. We filled his van up about 3 times just giving him stuff, because I don't like stuff just sitting around. I like new, fresh stuff, just like you guys do with the auction. Dave, I woke up this morning and I was zapped, and then I remembered. I thought, why am I so tired? And then just a few minutes ago, online, I remembered I did a twist last night, and that's why I'm hurting all over this morning. I got a little too excited last night doing the twist. But the storage hunting game, and it's been months and months, because storage units, just like everything else, went through the roof, and there's no money left to be made on them. We did get the Murfreesboro unit, and I was tickled with that. Even though we didn't find really super great items, it was still the hunt of it, and that's what I love. the treasure hunt of it. And we're looking at more storage units, and I'm hoping they start coming down a little bit, because I can't give $8,000-$10,000 for a unit, and I have done that before. But the Chattanooga units back then, I think I didn't give over $3,200 for all three of those great units where we found all that gold. But no, I know. Hey, Danny Gladwell, hope you're doing good. I saw your pictures where you're in the snow, buddy. You was in the snow out there in Wyoming, and then you was heading to Montana where there's even more snow. So be careful driving out there, Danny Gladwell. Danny's one of our local guys. He's a truck driver. You never know where he's going to be at. The other day he was in Mississippi. He's having truck trouble. I keep up with you, Danny. I may not ever say nothing on your Facebook page, but I do keep up with you. It's interesting watching where he goes and where he's going to be at and stuff. And we during our auctions and stuff, guys, we have a lot of fun. We cut up with different ones, and we just try to have a good time. Like Hidden Numerous there, we just got different characters, and I don't mean to call people characters, but Danny Godwell, I call him a character because he's my truck driving character. And you sort of get to learn what character they are by other people do. And you got some that get a little rowdy. Yeah, I was thinking if you was close to Diva, maybe Diva and Sammy, her husband, could have maybe met you for dinner or something. Because the people hardly ever get to meet each other on here. We've met a few people from away from here as they come through Scottsville or if we're somewhere else. But we don't get to meet a lot of people. One day maybe we'll just have a big convention. And are you ready, hon? Just come right here. I won't put you online there. You can just set it there. Is that down in there too?
Yeah.
I'm not going to count that.
Okay.
The shoes I ain't going to count. You give them to your little girl and tell her Merry Christmas. And these are some of the new shoes.
Yeah.
And I don't think them are $10 pairs. So I'm going to call them $5.
Okay. And I got 4 items.
4 items, so that'll be $15. Is that right altogether?
Yeah.
$15.
You had a bag?
Yes, I do. But she's at home.
Well, that's a bag.
She's at home asleep. Oh no, you're talking about a bag. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope she's not watching. I'll be in trouble. Let me get a bag for you. I'll be in trouble if she's watching. See if I can go down in here. And I owe you $5.
I'm going to open this back up.
Hey, get you some lunch, Danny. We'll see you tonight. I'm gonna try to get it the rest of. I got guys coming. We had them last night, and they didn't get it all. I'm trying to get all the aisles cleared out to where we unload it and stuff. Oh, you $5, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you.
We'll get it. We'll get it back. I'm gonna leave the doors open. I'm gonna let people just come in there until we get it straightened up. All right. See you. Have a good day, hon. Hope your little girl enjoys those shoes. Tell her they from Uncle Jed.
I will.
All righty. All right, guys. We want to start a blog, sort of like I'm doing now. I'll have my green screen back up to where I can sort of show you pictures maybe of the units. Because we take pictures a lot of time of units or videos to where we can sort of show you some of that. And for those of you that may want to start buying some storage units, maybe I can give you some advice. Don't overpay. I've seen a lot of people, a lot of people that the units we got at Murfreesboro, I'm going to tell you, there was other sister units to this unit I bought. I chose the best one because I like the icebox that was in one, and I'll show you all that sometime or another. It's a nice one of the older where they put blocks of ice in to keep cool, and I picked that unit out. Hey, how's it going there, Bluegrass? But there was other sister units to this, and I usually try to get all the sister units. And I did bid on the 20 by 20. That was a sister unit to this. But it got up, I think I quit at $1,890, and it went to $2,100. And I thought, I don't see. I was afraid there would be some stuff in this one that went with this one, but I'd got the other one at 1100, so I was satisfied with that. And so I let that one go. I didn't bid on it. Somebody else got it for $2,100. I thought that was too high. I bid probably too high at $1,890, but then got the other one at the same location, so it sort of made it worthwhile. And then we got down there, and of course we got to going through everything, and then I got to kicking myself thinking, you know, this is a halfway goods unit, and I'm sure there's other stuff like that in this other unit that I should have went ahead and bid a little bit more. So the guy told me, the manager said, you know, they've not come and got it, and they're supposed to come today, didn't, and they're coming tomorrow. If they don't come, I'll call you, and you can just buy the unit, because they just got 72 hours to get the stuff out. So I called down there the next day, and he said, yeah, they come and picked it up. They just now got it all loaded. And he said, but I'm going to tell you something. They were highly disappointed on what they found. So I was thinking, boy, I did right. For one time, I stopped bidding, you know, because that was $2,200 I would have to get back. I stopped bidding, and they wound up getting that unit at $2,200, and they said they were highly disappointed on what they found. So apparently, and what had happened, I'll tell you, that this unit here belonged to somebody that went on hospice, so they got all their stuff in the storage unit because they knew they wasn't going to be around a long time, or it was going to be a lot, you know, whatever somebody goes through when something like that goes on. And I guess their family didn't want none of it, and they were an older couple, and that's what you guys have been buying this week, a lot of that stuff. But I guess we got the best unit out of all of it. So I was kicking myself one day, and then the next day I was thinking, boy, I did good for once. I learned how to just not bid. Just because you got another unit and it's a sister unit, don't worry about it, guys. If it goes too high, don't buy it, just stop. That's what I've got pretty good at that, and that's why I've not got some units lately. I just stop. There were some that went for I was going to go up to 10,000 for 2 units, and they wound up going for like 18 or 19,000 the 2 units. And I've learned how to just stop, because sometimes you overpay and you work your butt off just trying to get your money back, and it's not all like you see on TV. Sometimes and you guys, I tell you all my stories, and I've probably contributed to a lot of people overpaying by me telling some of the stories, especially my gold story, my Civil War letter story. Those are far and few between. A lot of times you can ask a lot of my regular customers, I get a unit, it's a lot of common stuff that people still like. Hey, and if you find a lot of common stuff and you don't find the antiques, you don't find the collectibles, you don't find the gold, some people like the used microwave, some people like the used radio. They like, there's a lot of things that are common that you don't see value in. You're looking for the coins, you're looking for the gold, you're looking for collectibles, and there's value in about everything. The candles, people would look at candles and ain't no money there. We've been selling candles, what, $4 and $5, $8 a piece, and we probably had we probably found like 60 or 70 candles, and we've sold probably 30 here over the few nights. What is 30 times, you know, at least average of 5, that's 30 times 5 is $150. So there's value. People would look finding candles and think ain't no value in that. But that actually made me more than what some of the collectibles that I found. Those candles did. So there's value in common stuff, because you know why? People use candles. We use candles. India took a lot of the candles home. And there's value like used fans, $8, $10 a piece, something like that. And some of the collectibles, it's hard to get good bids on them nowadays, because people can't justify buying a collectible or something like that, antique, right now, unless they're just really into it. But they can justify buying that candle because they're going to use it to make their home smell good. And that's just a little example there of the common stuff. I love finding the common stuff just as much. Now, it's exciting when you find something antique or collectible, or the gold or the silver. It's really exciting. But if I see a unit and it's got a lot of good common stuff in it, I did good. And a lot of other storage unit buyers, they don't see that like that. Like, I got a lot of the Christmas stuff and a lot of the Halloween stuff. I see value in that. And a lot of them don't, unless it's collectible or antiques or a piece of gold or silver or jewelry, like they show on TV so many times. They're disappointed in the unit they buy. But as long as I don't see a unit that's full of empty boxes or just a bunch of paperwork or just completely, as long as I don't see roach poop. I hate seeing roach poop. And that's them little specks, and you can tell somebody had roaches. I don't like, that's the worst nightmare for me, because 9 out of 10 times it's all going to the dump. All going to the dump. So it's not all just a glorious thing there. I mean, you've got to go through. Somebody said, Jerry said, you need to be wearing, during the COVID, they said, you need to wear your mask. You need to do this and that. And I told him, I said, you know, I've dug through so much stuff without mask on, without gloves on, that my body's probably built up an immune system to whatever it might throw at me. But you do. It's not a. You guys saw me live before. You sweating. You got dirt all over you, and it's just. But it's fun. It's just treasure hunting, and then we get done with that. We get to come on here and present. It's not like on TV where they'll say, you know, that's a $20 bill. That's a $30 bill. You don't know that until you see it sell. But you guys actually get to watch me a lot of times take the items out of a box and then actually put it up here on the auction block, and you see what it's valued at. You get to see the full circle of it. And that's another cool thing, because when I find something, I'll say, I bet that's going to bring 40 or 50 bucks. And sometimes it brings right at that. Sometimes it don't. Sometimes it beats that expectation. But we have a grand time. Last night, we hadn't been ourselves here in the last several days. When you have a lot of things happening, like our heat and cooling unit went out, that's $6,000. I busted the back glass out of India's vehicle. I was mowing, and apparently a rock slung up and hit her back windshield. And then our electric stove went out, and we was already in the midst. I was going to remodel for India, and had a lot of that going on. So sometimes that sort of pressures you to try to get the most money that you can, and I don't like that. I'm not that person. I mean, I like to get the most money I can, but I don't like it to be pressured. I like it to come natural. And I sort of got out of my element. I sort of became some of those other people you watch on Facebook. And I didn't like that. I recognized that. I didn't like it. It felt awful. It felt nasty. It felt ugly. So last night I really started getting back to the old Uncle Jed, because it is what it is. Things happen, and we like making people smile, and we don't like being a stick in the mud, or being ill, or being demanding. Now I like taking control of the auction. Think of all the little kids in lockdown or mass who are building nothing to fight off other illnesses. Yeah, I do. My girls, I told them at school, we're in the red zone here, so they have to wear their mask at school. And I told them, I said, you get to where you're not breathing good, especially little Ruby. She gets too hot, she passes out. I said, you take that blame thing down, you breathe a little bit. And if the teacher says anything, tell them to call me. And a lot of the teachers, they're understandable too. At least here in our town. They're really understandable. I think we've got this thing on the run, though, guys. I think God's intervening and taking care of a lot of this. I think we got it on the run. I know we've lost a lot of good people to it. But I think a lot of times when we lose some of those good people like that, it's just that it was so new that they was giving them the wrong medicine, doing the wrong things, and that sort of contributed to some of those deaths. I don't think it was all just COVID. I believe it was just the lack of the proper treatment, giving them the wrong medicine that had an adverse effect. I think they'll find that out later down the road. But we're thinking about starting a little blog, and we're asking people. A lot of you guys have got Facebook, TikTok. What's that one my daughter said last night? Said something about Snapchat, and I said, I'll be watching on Snapchat. She said, no, you won't, because you ain't even got Snapchat. And I said, yeah, I do. I said, no, I don't. No, we're going to do it just like we did last night. The topic's auction. Drew over in Denmark. The topic is the auction. No, what we're going to do, Gettysburg Rich, I took some of the advice. I think it was Diva last night was talking, or the other night, Diva had said just do the countdown quicker and drop it quicker. And if you noticed last night, we did that, and we used to do that a lot. We can't do that all the time because sometimes I got to stall, to help Indy out or let Indy get caught up or to go use the bathroom. Sometimes I got to stall, so it don't work all the time. But if you notice last night at Gettysburg Rich, by me, going ahead and selling that auction, selling that item, and getting it off the table, people started bidding, because they didn't want to miss out on a bid. And I think that I took Diva's advice, and I think a few others, into dropping that item like that. And if you notice, if I put an item up there and it took, it sets up there for a minute and a half, nobody bids, and I pull it off, then somebody throws up a bid, I don't put it back up. I'm just going to stop doing that because it kills time. I want the auction to be a faster auction because I've watched some of those auctions, and it takes forever to sell one item. And when we do have some of you guys get in a bidding war, that's fine. You're bidding back and forth, bidding war, that's fine. Or bidding against each other, or it's a higher priced item, I'm going to take more time to explain that, and it's going to take a little longer. But a simple candle or something like that, some of the common items, there's no use of me spending 4 or 5 minutes on that particular item. Now, if it's a pass out, I understand that. Yeah, but the reason I can't. Thank you, Drew. We wore these during our fireworks season. The reason I don't type in sold, India's got to keep up with clerking. She helps me enough. But, that clerking is the most important thing. She could type in the wrong number, the wrong bid price, or she can type in the wrong bidder. And then we have to go back and watch a lot of video to figure out who won this or what it brought. And she would have to do that because when I say sold, and that's it, because I'm watching the screen, and if I'm not watching the screen, Indy is. When I say sold, I just say it because there is a 5-second lag, and a lot of people think, well, we beat that. Now, I'm not gonna say sold, and I see bids there. I'm not gonna do anybody like that. For one, it costs me money. Say Gettysburg Rich bid $17.50 after I called sold at $15. It cost me $2.50, so I'm not going to do that on purpose. But as soon as I say sold, if a bid pops up after that, and it's always the auctioneer's ruling. If it's really close, I can open it back up. So that's why we don't type in sold. It would help if people would type out when they're done bidding. Yeah, but even the good moderator would be lagging behind, and they would hear me say sold like 6 seconds later, and they would type in sold 6 seconds later after I say it, and then that's when the confusion would come in because they would type sold in probably after somebody bid or something, and that 6-second lag would cause confusion. They'll say, well, the moderator didn't say sold here, so but thank you, Gettysburg Rich. I'll think about that and see, let it soak in. But right now I sort of like just saying sold, and people understand that I'm not going to cost myself money, and I'm not going to offend you by I had that happen in live auctions too. People say, well, you missed my bid. Well, I didn't miss it on purpose because it cost me money. So I think last night went really well. We're going to keep working on it. I think if I just remain Uncle Jed and be like I've always been. Sammy, about time you lazy butt was getting here. But
Who you talking to?
Crow said a while ago, what are you doing? Sitting jury, letting Sammy do all the work? Ooh, peppers. I ain't eating them.
Yeah, I got in a 5-gallon bucket. You gonna throw them away? I said, I'll take them. I mean, in a 5-gallon bucket, they're tall and got real ones all on them.
Oh, yeah.
Bring you one of each.
But like I said earlier, eventually we may do that, Drew. I've got so many irons in the fire right now, I can't do that. Eventually we hope to do something like that, eventually. we're just right now we're spread pretty thin on what we're doing. But getting back to what we were saying, I think if I remain Uncle Jed and don't let things, sometimes things are going to stress me or cause me to sort of go like that. But it's okay. As long as I remain Uncle Jed. I think I had one 10-minute spot last night to where I sort of got frazzled a little bit. But then I broke loose out of it. And I think if I keep being Uncle Jed and just being Uncle Jed, doing the things that we do on the auction, like I said, I'm never going to try to cause somebody to miss their bid on purpose. But if I do, it's because I want the auction. And people like watching a fast-paced auction. You know, they don't like me to stay 10, 15 minutes on one item. That gets boring. It gets boring for me. So you're going to see more like last night of me dropping the items quicker. And if I'm watching an auction like that, I'm going to not just start out at a low bid and try to get it. You know, I'm going to start out of, about midway what I want to pay, and then hopefully get it for that. And then, because a lot of times, here's what happens. People think, like Crow was saying last night, people get in a bidding war, the bidding action. That's true sometimes, but I've pulled this at auctions before. I know an item's worth $100. I won't start it at 5 or 10, because then you do get in a bidding frenzy with somebody, and it could go higher than that. So I'll pop it up for half what it's worth. $50. I'll start it out at that, and a lot of times that scares the rest of the people. Dang, he started that off at $50, and it works sometimes. Sometimes it don't work, but. And I think I saw some of that taking place last night, because I think it was Deborah Reed or somebody. They popped it off at 20. And a lot of times I know Diva will start something off at a good price, and sometimes she gets somebody bidding against her, and sometimes she don't, because what that does, it sort of shocks people. And I've done called it sold before they can actually think about it, what they're doing. So, yeah, go ahead and look around.
Well, there's somebody out here wanting to know. They know where he's open or not.
Yeah, well, we're not officially open, but because we've got so much in for, just tell them to be careful when they're walking around.
Okay.
And if something ain't got a price, I'll price it.
All right.
But I'm going to get off here, guys. I love the talk, love the vlog, guys. We got to get something to eat, and I got to put Sammy to work over here. It's going to be a good auction. Tonight at 7 o'clock, guys. Be here or be like Sammy. Here's what he brought me, Diva. 2 hot peppers, thinking I'm going to get sick on eating them.
You know where that place is?
All right, we're going to end this auction end this vlog right now. Guys, be here at 7 o'clock tonight. And Uncle Jed may do the twist tonight, but I about twisted my back out last night. So we will see you guys. I got my nieces coming in here. Here's one of my nieces. Come in here and say hi to them.
I hear you.
This is my great, well, where you at? There you are. You got to get on the camera. That's my great niece right there, guys. And Holly's her mama, and Chris is her daddy. Holly was my sister's daughter. They're in here looking around, so I'm going to aggravate them for a while, see if I can get some of their old rusty money. I'm going to get your old rusty money, girl. Yeah. God bless y'all. Talk to y'all tonight.